Chag Sameach. In the Talmud, for me, the passages which reflect the greatest hope for our people can be found in the teachings of Rabbi Akiva, after whom Tnuat Bnei Akiva is named. Rabbi Akiva's motto of life was, whatever Hashem does, he does for the good. We find that at the age of 40, he did not allow his ignorance to stand in the way of him ultimately becoming the greatest Talmid Chacham of our people. He taught Torah despite the fact that the Romans had made it forbidden. He was sentenced to death. And then, while being brutally murdered by the Romans, a smile crossed his face as he said the Shema, knowing that he was fulfilling the mitzvah of Ahavta et Hashem b'chol nafshecha, loving Hashem with all of his soul. But perhaps there is no passage in the Talmud which reflects the positivity of Rabbi Akiva more than that in the Gemara Masechet Makot Daf Kaf Daled Amud Aleph. There we are told how the four greatest sages of our people visited Yerushalayim in the immediate aftermath of the Churban, the destruction. When they came to Mount Scopus, from which they could see the Temple Mount, they tore their clothes. And when they were standing on the Temple Mount, in the midst of the ruins, they saw a fox emerging from the place where the Kodesh HaKodashim, the Holy of Holies, had stood. The other three rabbis immediately burst out in uncontrollable crying. But they noticed that Rabbi Akiva was smiling, and they said to him, "How can you smile at a moment such as this?" He explained, "We are now seeing the fulfillment of the prophecy of our Nevi'im who declared that one day this destruction would take place. But the very same prophets told us that one day our nation will return to Yerushalayim, and one day the city will once again become the vibrant home of our people. In the same way as one prophecy has been fulfilled, so too in the course of time the other will as well." His colleague said to him, "Akiva nichamtanu, Akiva, you have brought us comfort." That very same comfort was brought to our people in 1948 with Kum HaMedinah, when the state of Israel was formed, providing comfort for our people in the immediate aftermath of the greatest tragedy that has ever befallen any nation, the Shoah of the Second World War. We easily could have capitulated. We easily could have given up hope. But in the style of Rabbi Akiva, we looked for the fulfillment of a dream of 2 millennia. Od lo avda tikvatenu hatikva bat shnot alpaim. We had always carried with us the hope of returning to our land and for Israel once again to be ours. And within just 3 years after the Shoah, that dream was fulfilled. And ever since that time, Israel has reflected the hope of our people and the hope of all of humankind. Israel continues, during challenging times, to be a beacon of democracy, the home of Torah, and the spiritual anchor of our people. And right now, Israel is leading the world in providing hope in the midst of this horrific pandemic through the successful rolling out of vaccinations, showing that Imritzei Hashem, the light at the end of the COVID-19 tunnel, is now visible. In similar fashion, Tnuat Bnei Akiva, ever since it was founded, has reflected the positivity and the hope and the great spirit of Rabbi Akiva. During challenging years of their lives, our youth, thanks to Bnei Akiva, are provided with so much inspiration. They are given Jewish, cultural, religious, educational, and social excellence. And as well, they have a bond with Medinat Yisrael, which they recognize so correctly to be the heart of our people. I would like to extend a huge יישר כוח to the Tnuah, not just for everything you usually do, but for the way in which you have led and inspired our youth throughout the pandemic, which has been absolutely extraordinary. And Imritzei Hashem, all the hope that Medinat Yisrael provides us with, all the hope that Bnei Akiva provides us with, will accompany us during these continuous difficult days of the pandemic. And may we next year celebrate together, not virtually, but in person. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for participating with us this evening. Be well, be safe, be healthy. Chag Sameach.